at Santa Barbara. Laurie has participated in the accessibility working group, helping to create the accessibility standards, the template for the BPAP, and several modules that exist for training on accessibility within the Vision Resource Center. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and turn it over to Laurie for her presentation.
Welcome everyone. I'm looking at the numbers. We're up to, I think, 31 people in the group today. What I'd like to do is give you a brief welcome and just a reminder of where we are in the field of accessibility on our campuses, so that when we all come back face to face, we're ready to serve our students in a way that is continuing to be above and beyond, with hopefully new support and resources available to us. I think what most of us have experienced this last year is creating a culture of access on our campuses. Many of us are already familiar with the Americans with Disabilities Act, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act that talks about student access and accommodations. Section 508, Standards and Guidelines, are the latest BPs and APs that hopefully you will be able to submit to your Board of Trustees for approval, so that you have a framework to work through on your campuses in order to help you do the work that's required. Also, if you've been paying attention, the Chancellor's Office has been promoting the Vision for Success, which has numerous principles and is also another framework for us to follow in terms of ensuring that our students get what they need and also graduate from our institutions. Diversity, equity, inclusion is a hot topic on our campuses. And when you're having those conversations, please include students with disabilities. Oftentimes they're left out of the conversation, and we have to be the ones to remind our campuses that they are part of it. And then the whole topic of racial justice and systemic change is one that is close to all of us. We've seen probably way too much in the last year, but definitely a necessary call to action in terms of making those changes in the future on behalf of our students. Recently, I read an article about digital access and/or divide. When we're working on our campuses, we have to remind ourselves that as we come across areas of campus, or if we are in discussions or doing group work with our colleagues, we have to ask ourselves, are we creating access or are we creating a divide? We're the only ones who can keep asking those questions so that the conversation continues to move forward. Accreditation is something that I've personally been through this last probably 2.5 years, working on the whole topic of accessibility and online instruction. Many of us are familiar with that now because all of our students are in Canvas, but how does that look when we actually return face-to-face and some of the students go back to their face-to-face courses? Are we still upholding the standards that we hopefully set in the beginning? So our goal today is to move that needle towards a culture of change. And that starts with inclusive design, recognizing that diversity and uniqueness is apparent in all of our students, recognizing the tools used in design are inclusive. As we choose our tools on our campuses, again, we have to be the ones to ask our partners in information technology, and even our faculty who are often choosing software for instruction. Are these tools accessible? Accessibility is the ability of the design or system to match requirements of the individual. Sometimes we try to put our students into an environment that just does not work for them. So what is our backup plan? How are we going to address any barriers that come up? Access is a shared responsibility. That's been made very clear by the Chancellor's Office. It's been made clear through the Vision for Student Success. And if you have a chance, please go into the Vision Resource Center to look at the accessibility modules that the Accessibility Working Group created actually a couple of years now. We finished that work in 2019. Access is proactive, access is integrated and inclusive, and access, according to the Office of Civil Rights, is timely and equally effective. So for today's workshop, we're learning to implement the freeway of accessibility on our campuses, identifying the areas on campus that we still need to invite practice, developing partners to do the work, recognizing that change is incremental and long-lasting, applying standards and guidelines to inform change on your campus. You have to make sure that your campus partners understand there is now a BPAP 3725, which addresses accessibility, and allowing that change to occur in our planning documents as well. So make sure that when you're reviewing your educational master plans, your strategic plans, your distance education plans, your district technology plans, your program review and allocation of resources, and your facilities master plan, that access and accessibility are part of that language. That's it for my presentation, so have a good time today.
Thank you, Laurie. All right. So we ended a few minutes early for the session, so we will go ahead and put the slide up for the rest of today's sessions and give everybody a few minutes to kind of get settled. At 9 o'clock, we're going to have a session on need accessible documents from Google Workspace. Grackle solves that. We'll do a short session there. We'll do a short session following that on PDF accessibility. We'll then go into the Pope Tech web scanning tool, have a session on captioning workflows, and then we'll break for lunch. After lunch, we'll be doing a session on using Section 508 to build equity across campus, implementing accessibility standards at Santa Rosa Junior College, and ending the day with Foothill College's 10-day accessibility challenge. So we will hang out for a few minutes and wait till closer to the top of the hour before switching into the Grackle Docs, the Grackle Suite. I lost all my board.